Hi everyone, it's me, your manuishu, and welcome back to my YouTube channel manuishu Acca Classes. So in this video, I will be start the question doing from number 10, and we will cover the 5 more question in this video. And previous question, I mean 1 to 9 has been covered previously. If you haven't watched that video, you will find the link in the description box, as well as it will blink over the right side of the screen. So I hope, and if you're watching my video for the first time, don't forget to subscribe my channel and share it among your friends so that they could also have the benefit. Okay, so without wasting our time, let's move to the question number, I think it's 10. Okay, fine. So what the question is saying, what is the ELA UK residence status for the tax year 22-23 and 23-24, right? So they basically asked us to determine the residency status of 22 and 23/24. Okay, let's read the scenario. Ila arrived in the UK, worked as nanny on 1st February 2023. It means 2 months prior to the tax year in. She has never previously visited to the UK. Ila lived with a family for whom she worked full time until 31st August 2023. On September 23, Ila left the UK to attend university in another country. As a result of this visit to the UK, Ila stayed in the UK for 65 days during the tax year 20 to 23 and 148 days during the tax year 23-24. For these two tax years, Ila was neither automatically not resident in the UK nor automatically resident. So basically, question itself told that you don't have to look over the taste of the individual being the automatically non-resident as well as automatically resident. So we have to move to the third step, right? Let me brief about this thing. In order to determine the residency status of the individual, first there are 3 steps, right? The first step is you should ask whether the individual is a non-resident, and for that we have a three we can say the condition that need to be satisfied. The first one is that individuals should live in the UK for less than 91 days due to overseas employment, right? And his work days in the UK should be less than 31 days. This is the first condition. And in case of the, if we talk about the Ila has arrived on the 1st February 2023, and that's a tax year 22-23. And question clearly state that she lived for 65 days during the tax year 22-23, right? So, and the second condition is that she should live for less than 46 days such that she had no overseas job. And third condition is live for less than 16 days until such that she has been resident in the UK in any of the last 3 years. So this is for the condition. If any one of condition is met, then individual is considered to be the non-UK resident for particular tax year. If not met any of the condition, we will move to the second step. And the question is, are you UK resident? And the condition is, again there is 3 conditions. The first condition is he or she should be live for at least 183 days in the UK for that fiscal year and work at least 365 days in the UK such that some of the days lie in the current tax year. And third condition is live at least for 30 days in the UK such that only home is in the UK. So these two are the first and second step, and they have respective condition that need to be met. But in the question it clearly states that she neither meet any of these condition of the first and second step. So we will move directly to the third step. And in third step, individual residency status is determined by evaluation the ties. And I hope you are aware of what the ties are. There are 5 ties. The first is close family, accommodation, days in the UK, comparative days, and work days, right? So each of the ties have their own rules and regulations. So basically we will evaluate how many ties this individual will meet, and according to that we will look over the residency table. Just a second, I will show you how it will be available in the exam. Don't worry about that, and let me show you how it will look like. So this is the residency status table, and which will be provided to you in the exam. Don't worry about that. So basically, first of all, we will look for each of the respective tax year, how many days C is there, right? Okay, so in the tax year 22 and 23, C was in the UK for at least 65 days, right? So we will look into the table, 65 days. If we will look into the table, 65 days fall in this category, right? And C was not a previously resident. It was mentioned in the question, so we will look in this column, and she should meet at least four ties to be a UK resident, right? And in year 23 and 24, she was in the UK for at least 148 days. It was mentioned in the question. Let me capture the screen. Okay, so I hope it's clear now. Okay, so table is visible to all of you. So basically, we are talking about in tax year 20 to 23, she was in the UK for at least 65 days. So we will look into the days column. It will fall under this category, this row, 46 to 90 days. And she was not a previously UK resident. It was mentioned in the question. I think, yeah, she has never been previously visited to the UK. So we will look into this column. And for this resident, if four UK ties, if she will meet the four ties, then she will consider to be the UK resident. And for tax year 23 and 24, she was in the UK for 148 days. So we will look into this row 121 and 182 days. And as she was not a previously UK resident, so she need to meet a two ties in order to be considered as a UK resident, right? So let's evaluate her ties, and then we will come to the conclusion whether she is resident or not, right? So in the tax year 22 and 23, if we talk about she arrived in the UK on 1 February 23, right? And she lived with the family. So close family ties have been made because in the it mentioned that if individual family means like her spouse or children under the age of 18 is UK resident, then close family ties will meet. So in this case, it has been made. Other was see accommodation was available for consecutive 91 days, and in which individual had stayed at least one night. So obviously says Ila is living with his family, and so she might have the obviously accommodation available. So I think we can also assume that accommodation ties had also been met somehow. And other condition is that she should work for at least work this condition. She should at least work for at least 40 days in the UK. So work ties. So yeah, she has been arrived on the 1 Feb 23, and so it means in the tax year she lived for 65 days. Out of that, 40 days she has been worked. So three ties have been made. So only and she has not lived as she has lived for 65 days. So to meet the days ties state that she should be live at least 90 days in any of the previous two fiscal years, and which was not made in case of the ILA. And if we will also talk about comparative days, it has not made because she was not a previously resident. So out of five ties, she only made the three. Again, I will repeat. So there are five types. The first one is close family accommodation, right? Close family. I mean, close family means if the individual and his spouse or children under the age of 18 is living in the UK and are UK resident. In that case, close family ties will meet. And in case of Ila, it's this ties meet because she live with the family. Right. Though they have not clarified what are the members of the family, we assume that she is living, she or he, I don't know, but yeah, C. Okay, okay, it's mentioned here. So she's living with her spouse or children under age of 18. We will assume that accommodation. Obviously, as she is living with a family, so obviously she's having accommodation. And if she's accommodation, she should at least spend one night in that accommodation. So we also assume that accommodation tie have been made. And third ties was work at least 40 days in the UK. So as she arrived in the UK to work on 1 February 23, and if we will evaluate the number of days, it's 65, yeah, it's told here. So we will assume that she have at least worked 40 days in the UK in that particular tax year. So third tie has also been made. So rest two ties was live at least 90 days in the UK, which has not been made by Ila because she only lived for 65 days, and other was comparative days in the UK, and this will applicable if the individual was previously resident. But in case of Ila, she is not a previously resident, so this tie have not been made. So she only made the ties 3 out of 5. So she is not considered to be UK resident in for tax year 2023, right? So um, so A option has been omitted as well as C has been omitted. So our answer would be might be B or D. Okay. So for 23 and 24, as she lived for 148 days, so she should meet at least two ties to be a UK resident. And she obviously made the accommodation one and family. So in that case, she would be considered to be a UK resident for the tax year 2024. That means option D is right. Okay. Moving ahead, which of the following not cause Harper to be treated as an automatically UK resident for tax year 20 and 24? So, what was the condition to be a UK automatically UK resident? Individuals should live at least 183 days in the UK in the current fiscal year, and she or he should work for at least 365 days in the UK, such that consecutively 365 days, and such that some of the days fall in the current fiscal year. And third one, live for at least 30 days in the UK, such that the only home is in the UK. So these three conditions need to be made, and the question told out of four, which one condition is not will fit the Harper to be as a automatically UK resident. So basically, see, Harper spent 192 days in the UK. So obviously, she had spent. I'm telling C. I'm going to say Harper had spent 192 days. So it's more than 183 days. So condition has been made in this case. So it will not cause Harper to be treated as an automatically UK resident. Harper renting house in the UK to live and occupying it as her only home throughout the tax year 2024. As I said, individuals should live for at least 30 days in the UK, and such that only home in the UK, and in this case, the only home is in the UK, so it will treat it as automatically UK resident. Harper accepting 15-month contract for full-time job. So in case of job, Harper should at least work for 365 days in the UK, such that some days lie in the current tax year, and it's full-time job. Obviously, she worked continuously for 50 months, so this condition also made. Harper husband live in the UK throughout the tax year 2024, and Harper is staying with him. She visit the UK. So this condition has not been for the like automatic UK resident. So this will be the our answer. 12 number. What is the child benefit income tax charge for tax year 2024? Okay, for a tax year, for the tax year 2024, she salary is 53,000, and she received child benefit of 2075 during this tax year. Okay, so basically her salary is 53,000, means employment income is equal to 53,000, and as there is no any other income, so we will also assume total income is equal to employment income, which is 53,000 in our case. And in order to calculate child benefit charge, we should first look our adjusted net income whether it exceeds 50,000 or not. So in our case, total income equal to net income, and net income equal to adjusted net income, because there is no any information regarding pension contribution, donation. So we will assume our total income, which is the 53,000, is equal to adjusted net income, which is 53,000. So as it exceeds the limit of 50,000, that means access is 3,000. So we will first find out the percentage. So 3,000 is access amount, so 1% of it, so 30%. So it means 30% of 2075 will be charged as child benefit income tax charge in, so option D. Okay. Okay. So how much will Moon include in saving income in respect of the gilts in the tax year 2024? So basically, they are talking about the gilts. Moon has purchased 200 nominal value gilts paying interest 1% for 211,000 on the 1st September 2022. Interest is payable half yearly on 30 June and 31st December. So listen carefully regarding this question. So basically, the Manon has purchased this gilt on 1st September 2022, right? And she sold on the 1st December 2023, right? So interest is received half yearly on 30 June and one on 31st December, right? So basically, when the Manun has purchased these skills on 1st September, so whatever the accrued interest was the seller was about to receive has been added on at the time of the purchase to the Manun. It means if the suppose cost was 100 and interest accrued was 20, which will be payable on 30 June. So basically, seller have add this accrued interest income on this 100 and sold out this guild at 120 to the Manu. I'm just taking the example. So basically, the concept is that as the Manon purchased this nominal value for 211,000. In this amount, accrued interest till June have included. So basically, for the June, how much interest have been received by the Manon? It's 200,000 into 1% and into 6 by 12, right? So 1,000 have been received, and as they sold this guild on the December, and that's the first one, and on 31st December the interest was about to be paid, but before that she sold, so she will only entitle for the 5-month interest, and that will be into 5 divided by 6. We will add this to, okay, so 1833 charges will arise. So basically we are calculating how much interest was accrued during man holding period of the like guild. Okay, so basically we are talking about this. Okay, so moving ahead, identify ticking appropriate box whether or not the following two individuals satisfy or don't satisfy the test to be treated as automatically non-resident in the UK for the tax year 2024. So what are the conditions for the to be treated as automatically non-resident? The first of all, live for at least less than 91 days due to overseas employment in the UK. If not having overseas employment, then he or she should live at least 40, less than 46 days. And in case of individual is previously UK resident for 3 years, in that case, live at least less than 16 days. Okay. So Erika, who has been never previously resident in the UK, it means the last condition has been omitted, so only two conditions remaining. That's 91 days and 46 days. Was UK in the for the 40 days during the tax year 23 and 24. Obviously, with the second condition, the condition was live for less than 46 days in case of no employment, as they don't talk about any employment. So we will assume she's having no any overseas job, so and she is living for the 40 days, which is within the amount 46, which is less than 46, I mean to say. So it's considered, it satisfies the condition for considered to be non-UK resident. Foreign who was resident in the UK for last two tax year prior to the tax year 2024. In the tax year 2024, she was in the UK for 18 days. So, in case of previously being the resident, in that case, individuals who live for less than 16 days, but she live more than 16 days. She live for 18 days and between more than 16 days, 16, so it will not satisfy the condition. Okay, so now 15. Ahmed purchased 10,000 gilt paying interest at 2% for 11,000 on 1st June 2023. Interest is payable half yearly on 31st March and 30 September. He sold gilt on 29 February 2024 for the 11,400, including the accrued interest. So, how much M will include in the saving income in respect of the gilts in the tax year 2024? So, basically, the question is like above. As I said, in case of the accrued gilt interest income concept in regarding the gilts, you should also always think how much interest has been accrued during the period of holding. So, Ahmed purchased. Gilts on 1st June 2023, right? And she sold it out on 1st Feb 2024. So what's the holding period? June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So it's 9 months, right? Let me check. 10,000 into 2%. Okay, so it means 150 the interest will be they entitled to. Otherwise, in other language, you could understand that she acquired the guilt on the 1st June, but the interest was payable on half yearly. It means on 31st March, the previous seller has received interest. Okay, and in fact, the this guilt was sold on June. That means April and May interest will be received by the Ahmed. Okay. Okay, so in next session we will start from the 16th, so it will be tuned with my channel. Thank you for watching.